As early civilizations grew, vast resources were poured into crafting lethal instruments of warfare. Today we examine the top 15 most astonishing ancient military weapons. Number 15. Urumi. Normally a sword has a rigid metal blade, but not always. Some unconventional shapes proved even deadlier in skilled hands. The Urumi came from the area now called Kerala in India about 15 centuries ago, during the Sangam era. It's also known by regional names like Tutuval or Surokati, but all share a flexible, whip-like blade. About 66 inches, 168 centimeters, long, the hilt was iron or brass with a crossguard and knuckle bow, often decorated. The blade was made from flexible edged steel, roughly an inch, a few centimeters wide, and for proper handling, its length usually matched the user's arm span. Some versions had multiple blades attached to a single hilt. One Sri Lankan type had 32 blades and was wielded two-handed, allowing combatants to hold one in each hand. Because it combines traits of two weapon families, Urumi techniques are often taught last in Indian martial arts. The blades are whipped to build centrifugal force, so skill mattered more than raw strength. They were excellent against groups of opponents, and master Urumi fighters were among the most feared of their era. Number 14. Falcata. The falcata was a fearsome sword used by Iberian warriors before Roman domination. The modern name, coined in the 19th century, means falcon-shaped. Its single-edged blade curves forward toward the tip, shifting from concave near the hilt to convex near the point. That profile concentrates weight so the weapon strikes with axe-like momentum while keeping a long cutting edge and the ability to thrust. Hilts were often hooked and decorated with bird or horse motifs, taking inspiration from Iron Age sickle knives. When Roman troops first encountered falcatas, they were impressed by both the steel quality and the blade's strength. Hannibal reportedly admired them and issued them to troops during the Second Punic War in the 3rd century BC. Beyond battlefield use, ornate falcatas were status items found in wealthy tombs. Their rarity early on reflected the region's expensive iron. Number 13. Chotel. Traced to the Demotic and Aksumite realms in what is now northern Ethiopia. The chotel was a long, curved sword resembling a sickle. Its flat, double-edged blade had a diamond-shaped cross-section and was typically about 40 inches, roughly a meter, long, with hilts made of wood or horn, sometimes rhino horn, and carried on the right side in a leather scabbard. Chotels were often set with gems and precious materials. Their curve let warriors reach around shields to target kidneys or lungs. The upper edge was left blunt, so it could be braced against an enemy's shield and used to leverage or overpower them. As more advanced offensive and defensive arms appeared, the chotel declined, but in its era, a skilled wielder could effortlessly defeat many opponents. Number 12. Maquahuitl. In the Nahuatl language, its name means handwood. The maquahuitl was common across Mesoamerica by the time the Spanish arrived and was one of the weapons European soldiers encountered in battles against the Aztec, Maya, Mixtec, and Toltec. Essentially a wooden club with a handle, it resembled a small paddle with obsidian blades inset along the sides, obsidian being a volcanic glass abundant in the region. Maquahuitls measured roughly 35 to 47 inches, 90 to 120 centimeters, and weighed about 4.4 to 6.6 pounds, 2 to 3 kilos. Historians describe it as neither pure sword nor club, but a saw sword. It could decapitate people or horses and inflict grievous wounds with moderate force. It was also effective for disabling enemies rather than killing them outright, enabling captives to be taken for ritual sacrifice in accordance with Aztec and Maya practices. Number 11. Hwacha. Developed on the Korean peninsula in the 15th century. The hwacha, literally fire cart, combined features of an organ gun and a multiple rocket launcher, able to fire hundreds of rocket-propelled arrows or volleys of iron-headed bolts. Rocket-propelled arrows had earlier origins in China, but the hwacha was a pivotal Asian weapon when it appeared. During Japan's invasions of Korea in the 1590s under Toyotomi Hideyoshi, Korean defenders used hwachas alongside naval innovations to help repel Japanese attempts to seize the peninsula as a springboard toward China. Hundreds of hwachas were deployed across Korea, each capable of firing volleys of 100 rocket arrows or 200 small projectiles. a technological edge that helped thousands of Koreans hold off much larger Japanese forces. Number 10. Bag knock. Originating on the Indian subcontinent by at least the mid-17th century and possibly earlier, the bag knock imitates a tiger's claw and fits over the hand like a knuckle duster. On the palm side, 4 or 5 razor blades protrude, easily slicing skin and muscle, hence the name, which means tiger's claw in Hindi. Favored by assassins who sometimes poison the tips, it was also used by civilians for concealment and self-defense and by fighters in close quarters. 19th century accounts even describe claw wrestling spectacles favored by Rajas, where drugged combatants would tear at each other until one bled to death. Number 9. Caltrop. Few weapon forms endure for millennia, but the calp dates back over 2,000 years and still sees use today. Its simple idea, a set of spikes arranged so that one point always faces upward, served as an anti-personnel and anti-cavalry obstacle. Caltrops damaged horses, broke chariot wheels, and injured elephants' feet, slowing or stopping enemy advances. The Romans used them widely, and similar devices appeared independently in Japan and across Asia. Variants were found in the Americas after European contact. While ancient caltrops were metal, later versions used concrete or steel and can still puncture pneumatic tires or, if large enough, disrupt tanks and aircraft. Number 8. Potu. Used by the Maori of New Zealand, the patu is a short-handled club whose name means to strike, hit, beat, or kill. Crafted from materials like greenstone, punamu, whalebone, wood, or occasionally iron, patu were compact but heavy, often fitted with a wrist cord through a handle hole to prevent loss in combat. Despite their small size, a well-placed thrust to the temple could inflict fatal head trauma. They were also used against the jaw or ribs. Each chief's patu was carved and decorated to mark battlefield achievements and became treasured heirlooms. Number 7. Archimedes' steam cannon. Archimedes, the Greek mathematician, physicist, and engineer who influenced Syracuse in the 3rd century BC, devised weapons far ahead of his time to defend the city. Among the legendary devices attributed to him are the ship-lifting claw and a sun-concentrating mirror, but one weapon with solid historical grounding is a steam-driven cannon, a large metal tube with one end heated in a furnace. A projectile and a small amount of water were loaded into the barrel. The water flashed into steam, rapidly raising pressure and blasting the projectile out. A weapon like this could target approaching ships and cause severe damage. Leonardo da Vinci later sketched a similar idea, and steam launch devices reappeared in modified forms up to World War II as anti-aircraft bomb launchers. Number 6. Chakram, sometimes called chalikar. The chakram is a circular throwing weapon from the Indian subcontinent dating back nearly 2.5 millennia. It doubled as a shield-like defense for the head and forearm, but excelled offensively. A steel chakram about 15 centimeters, roughly 5.9 inches, across could be thrown some 200 feet, about 60 meters. Brass versions could reach nearly twice that. Ideally perfectly round, the outer rim was sharpened to cut through cloth and flesh. Multiple chakrams could be hurled rapidly to multiply damage. Technique involved throwing them forward and vertically so they'd descend on enemies from above, reducing friendly fire risk. Because the inner rim was blunt, users could spin them on fingers or wrists to gain momentum before release. Their shape also made them more wind-resistant and often more accurate at long range than arrows or spears. Number 5. Billhook. Originally an agricultural tool for cutting woody growth, the billhook's curved, sickle-like blade was soon adapted as a weapon. Battlefield billhooks were long poles topped with the hook blade, sometimes combined with a spear point and rear spikes to increase effectiveness against cavalry and armor. In 14th century England, billmen, troops armed with billhooks, often replaced pikemen, and a billhook famously mortally wounded Scottish King James I at the Battle of Flodden in 1513. Today, billhooks are still issued in training in some armies, not because they outmatch firearms, but because they're versatile in close combat and useful for tasks like cutting ropes or vegetation when soldiers operate off-grid. Number 4. Lantern shield. In the Italian Renaissance of the 15th and 16th centuries, the lantern shield was a hybrid defensive-offensive tool for night watchmen and duelists. fighting at night posed the problem of holding a lantern while wielding a sword, and manuals show how combatants might use a light to blind opponents. The lantern shield solved that by combining a small circular buckler with a hook to hang a lantern. Some examples included gauntlets, spikes, blades, or even mechanisms to dim or brighten the lamp. Surviving specimens are displayed in museums, though evidence suggests they were more commonly used by city guards on night patrols than in lethal duels. Number 3. Chuko Nu, repeating crossbow. Ancient Chinese engineers produced the Chuko Nu, a repeater crossbow that reads like a modern innovation, but dates back almost 2,000 years. It combines spanning, loading, and firing into a single action, dramatically increasing rate of fire. The Ming Dynasty variant commonly featured a top-mounted magazine that fed bolts by gravity, allowing a skilled operator to fire repeatedly with swift motion. It had an effective range of about 230 feet, 70 meters, and a maximum near 600 feet, 180 meters. Better suited to defense than field campaigns, it could fire up to 10 bolts in about 20 seconds, slowing enemy assaults on gates and walls. Though its bolts were lighter than those from great warbows, tips laced with poison could make even a scratch lethal. Number 2. Khopesh. Dating back roughly 5,000 years, the khopesh was the curved blade you'd expect to find among ancient Egyptian forces. Likely evolving from battle axes, its sickle-like end offered options a straight sword could not. Typically 20 to 24 inches long, about 50 to 60 centimeters. Only the outer edge was sharpened, letting users hook limbs or rip shields away. The name is thought to mean leg. Though the khopesh fell from regular use around 3,300 years ago, it remained a potent cultural symbol, mentioned on the Rosetta Stone, produced in 196 BC, and often shown in Egyptian monuments. Ceremonial khopeshes are found in burials. Some discovered examples were never used in combat, intended instead to aid the deceased ruler in the afterlife. Number 1. Mambele. The mambe is an elaborate yet brutally effective knife-axe hybrid used across Central and Southern Africa, believed to descend from throwing daggers. They came in many regional shapes and sizes, and, because they were fashioned from uncommon materials, also served as status symbols. Typically built around a main iron blade with a curved back and a rear-facing spike, mambel often incorporated designs resembling animal heads. A complete example often featured multiple blades, 3 facing upward and 1 sideways, and measured around 22 inches, 56 centimeters. Thrown in a spinning motion, they tore deeply into flesh and could kill by impact or massive blood loss. Used up close as a dagger or hatchet, their curve made extraction lethal. The Azande used mambelas as early as the first half of the 18th century. They became culturally important, given as dowry and carried by professional warriors who might launch volleys from behind shields at enemies 30 feet, 10 meters away.